What's going on, guys? It's your favorite Aboriginal Auntie Silk on how to read people. This day and age is very important to understand social cues and tips on how to identify people's motives and gestures, okay? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share if you want to have more spiritual development videos. Like, subscribe, share, okay? So my signature cue is an icebreaker question followed by a warm smile. I would like to know your signature cue, okay? So let's get into the video. I'm so excited for this video because it's much needed. Have you ever met someone and instantly felt like something was off? Or maybe you talked to somebody who smiled in your face, but their energy said something differently. And that's because, I'm gonna get to it, that's because people speak long before even they open their mouths. Today, we're gonna break down on how to read people, not in a magical way, okay, not a traditional way, but through psychology, body language, behavioral patterns, and emotional cues and observation skills. By the end of this video, you will understand on how to spot hidden emotions, how to detect nervousness, confidence, attraction, manipulation, and how to read energy shifts in conversations and how powerful observation use silence to gather information, okay? And we will also use movie references and real life examples because I'm all about real life examples, y'all. I'm all about examples, okay? So let's get into it. Let's get into it, y'all. You can use this in your everyday lives, all right? So I want to open up with people always reveal themselves, okay? People always reveal themselves. People always tell on themselves too, okay? One of the biggest mistakes people make is listening only to words. Words can lie, behavioral usually doesn't. Again, words can lie, behavioral usually doesn't. And the first rule into reading somebody is this. Watch patterns, not performance. Anybody can pretend for 5 minutes, but patterns expose the real person at heart, okay? Kind of getting into their tea, all right? I'm gonna give you an example. Someone says they support you, right? This happens to me all the time. But every time you share good news, they go quiet. They don't say a thing, okay? And that's a behavior contradiction. Or someone says confident, but they constantly seek validation to interrupt others and dominate conversations. And that's insecurity disguised as confidence, okay? I'm gonna give you guys a great example of a movie that just recently came, Devil Wears Prada, okay? Marina Presley barely raises her voice, but everyone reacts to her energy immediately. And why? Because she's powerful and because the power often speaks calmly, okay? Her power often speaks powerfully, And truly confident people rarely over-explain themselves, okay? So you always find yourself explaining yourself, evaluate that, okay? Second, I want to get into is body language. Because body language never stops. I talk with my hands a lot, all right? Your body leaks information constantly. And even when someone tries to hide their emotions, the body betrays them. Because I know me, when I'm signing somebody, it's like, girl, you're going to see it on my face. And here are some key signs to watch for. Eye contact. Eye contact. Too little eye contact can signal nervousness, guilt, insecurity, and discomfort. Too much eye contact can also be manipulation and dominance, okay? Healthy eye contact is natural, not forced. Again, healthy eye contact feels natural, not forced. Feet direction. And this is one of the most overlooked tricks. Feet usually point towards where they want to go, okay? Take notes. If someone's body faces you, but their feet points towards the exit, they may want to end the conversation. Look at the social cues, guys, okay? So if you're talking to somebody and their feet are the other way, that means they're ready to go, okay? They're trying to hurry you up. Mirroring, okay? Mirroring is when someone subconsciously copies your posture, your tone, your gesture, and usually signals comfort, attraction, or trust. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. When you lean forward for a few seconds later, they lean back. That subconscious connection, okay? A strong example appears in Catch Me If You Can. That was a good movie, and I highly recommend that. Frank constantly mirrors people to gain trust and bend into environments. Mirroring makes people feel psychologically familiar with you. So when someone mirrors you, that goes to show you that they trust you, okay? Defensive body language And here's the social cue that you need to watch out for. Cross arms, tight shoulders, jaw clench, forced smile, okay? Hands hidden in the pockets, all right? These are signal discomforts or emotional guard, okay? But context matters. Some people cross their arms because they're cold. Don't read into it too hard. So never judge someone off of one signal. So you have to watch out for multiple signals, okay? Look for a cluster of behaviors, okay? So if you see somebody that's guarded, you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of stuff that they're thinking about. Okay, the power of micro expression. Micro expressions are tiny facial reactions that happen in less than a second. These reactions are difficult to fake because they happen automatically. Someone may say that they're happy for you, pay attention, but for the half of a second, their lips tighten, their eyes get narrow, the smile slowly disappears, that quick flash that can reveal someone's jealousy, irritation, resentment. This concept is heavily explored in TV shows Lie to Me, which is inspired by real psychology research and facial expressions. One trick professionals use to indicate this, okay, and you guys can use this in your real life too. Ask questions, then watch for first reactions. The first reactions is usually the emotional truth. The second reaction is the control response. And I'm gonna give you guys an example, okay? You ask somebody, okay, this could be anything. Are you upset with me? And if they instantly look irritated before smiling, saying no, the first reaction matters, okay? So when someone's like, no, I ain't mad at you, pay attention to that, all right? Social cues. All right, let's get into silence is a weapon. Silence is a weapon. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. A powerful observation, use silence strategically, and why, okay? Use silence strategically. Because silence makes people reveal more than they intend to. So always make someone talk more than you, okay? If you find yourself always talking first, you're not playing the game. After someone answers a question, pause for 3 seconds longer than normal. Many people will continue talking to fill in the sentences, and that's when they often expose the truth, okay? Detective, negotiators, therapists, integrators, car salesmen, because car salesmen be getting me, girl and guys, okay? A strong movie example is The Godfather. You know, The Godfather, you know, he's like real quiet. Michael speaks very little, but he observes everything. Quiet people often gather the most information because they're not busy trying to impress others, okay? So you let them lead you. You just observe and collect the information. The person controlling their emotions usually controls their interactions, okay? You want to make sure that you are controlling the situation. Number 5, how to spot manipulators. Okay, manipulative people often follow predictable patterns. And here are some common signs that you can use in your real life, okay? They move fast emotionally. They also, okay, overshare quickly, pay attention, love bomb, pressure closeness, and create fake urgencies. Healthy trust gradually develops, okay? Manipulators try to skip the natural process. Is someone trying to rush you? They're trying to alter your reality. Be careful of that. They constantly test boundaries, okay? These could be dusties and dustettes, okay? Small disrespectful actions reveal bigger future behaviors, okay? So when you're out here dating and someone's ignoring your no and interrupting you repeatedly and guilt tripping you and shame tripping you and making jokes at your expense, you got to read that, okay? Reading people means noticing that they normalize, okay? Reading people means noticing what they normalize, okay? They weaponize confusion. Manipulators weaponize confusion. If conversation, constantly leaves you drained, guilty, second guessing yourself, pay attention, okay? Manipulators often rely on emotional chaos. Confusion is witchcraft, okay? Pay attention to that. The characters manipulate perception by controlling narratives and emotional reaction. People who constantly distort reality in situations often expose themselves through inconsistency. So when you're dating out there, make sure you're reading consistent actions and consistency, okay? How to read confidence versus insecurities. Let's get into it. Real confidence is usually calm. Insecure pretending confidence often performs loudly. So let's get some to the difference between confident and insecure. Confident people, they do what? They listen more, they speak clearly, they don't rush to prove themselves, they can accept disagreements calmly, they stay emotionally grounding, because grounding is everything when you're confident. Insecure people, however, they interrupt constantly, they overreact to criticism, they try to dominate rooms, they overspeak, they seek validation nonstop, and they are also disrespectful. So one best example is the movie John Wick. I like that movie. Really wastes his words. John Wick is just observant. He doesn't need to announce power constantly. Meanwhile, insecure people often need everyone to see their importance. Okay, the person that seeks validation is someone that is insecure. Okay, so pay attention to that. Even when you go into like dating and stuff like that, pay attention to those cues. Energy shifting stories. Okay, one advanced reading skill: observing emotional shifts. Notice how people change around different individuals. Okay, someone may someone may act confident around quiet people, but suddenly become submissive around dominant personalities. Okay, you see this in the alpha male, in the beta male, kind of like even with the females. Okay, it's like a hierarchy. Okay, it's a different level. Also notice the changes, the facial expression, the fake laughter, the sudden silence, and posture shifts. People constantly reveal who intimidates them and who they admire and who they dislike. And Mean Girls, because Mean Girls also should give you guys good social dynamic cues. They constantly shift depending on who holds a social power in the room. Okay, so when the Mean Girls, when they had the popular girls, they would act a certain way, and then with the girls that she felt comfortable with, she acted a certain way into accordance. Okay, you can also kind of differentiate that. The biggest trick is to observe without judging. So when you're making your observation, don't judge too quickly. Okay, good observations do not react emotionally to everything they notice. They observe first. So make sure you are always observing first. If you judge too quickly and project your own emotions into people instead of watching constantly and notice how they treat workers, how they behave angrily, how they act when they gain power, whether their actions matches their words. Pressure reveals character faster than comfort does. Always remember that, guys. A person's true nature often appears when, pay attention, they are frustrated, stressful environments, embarrassed, jealous, rejected, emotionally triggered. Okay? And that's when the mask slips. You got to put the pressure on them so you can actually see that mask slip and see their real character. Because when you're vetting out here, that's very important, ladies. Practical tips you can start using today. And here are some simple tips that you can start practicing immediately, okay? So use this on your everyday life. Watch reactions to success, okay? Tell people good news. Watch who celebrates naturally and who is uncomfortable. Envy often hides behind forced politeness. That nice nasty, watch out for that in the workforce, okay? Take note of everything. Observe group dynamics. One thing I do too is I make sure I give out false information about myself so I know who's talking about me and stuff like that. So in the workplace, notice who interrupts who seeks approval, who controls conversation, and who stays composed. Social hierarchy becomes visible quickly, okay? So when you're in the workforce and you're trying to make buddy, make sure you're not around no sneaky people. So talk less, all right? The less you talk, immediately the more information you gather, okay? That's another tip. So make sure you are talking less. People often telling themselves when they think you aren't paying attention, okay? So pay attention. You got to act dumb. Sometimes you just got to act dumb to really catch the fish, all right? Number 4, notice consistency. Character is consistency over time. Anybody can act nice. Anybody can act nice temporary, okay? Because pattern reveals truth, okay? Pattern reveals truth, guys. Number 5 tip, trust repeated intuition. Listen to your intuition, how your body reacts to people, okay? Your body notices danger before your mind explains it, guys. Energy, do not lie, okay? If someone repeatedly makes you feel uneasy, don't ignore that because that's your intuition. And oftentimes pattern recognition happens subconsciously in your mind, okay? So also listen to your gut, okay, when you're reading people. And I want to go ahead and just wrap this up, guys. Thank you so much for watching this far. Reading people is not about becoming paranoid. It's becoming aware. Your awareness, it helps you navigate more easily. The more emotionally intelligent you become, the harder it is for people to manipulate you, deceive you, and confuse you. The goal is not to judge everybody, okay? The goal is to understand behavior clearly, concisely, and consistently, okay? Remember, words can be crafted by manipulators, deceivers, all right? Images can be performed, okay? But patterns reveal truth. Watch action, watch consistency, watch emotional reaction. People always tell you who they are eventually, okay? You must have to learn how to see it, okay? You have to train yourself to see it, okay? And don't rush into it. Pause. And once you do, you will never look at human behavior the same way. If you like more videos like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I would like to know below what is your social cues and how you ice break when you are out and about, okay? And yeah, I would love to hear your social cues in the comments and any other comments that you have. Keep it respectful. I love you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share for more videos. It is your favorite Aboriginal Auntie Silk tuning out. Toodles.